In a quiet little town, there lived a young man named Daniel. On the surface, he had everything a person could need to build a good life: health, intelligence, and opportunities. But inside his mind, a storm of negativity always raged. He complained about the smallest problems, doubted his abilities, and saw obstacles in every direction. Whenever something went wrong, he convinced himself it was fate working against him. His friends tried to encourage him, but his habit of negative thinking kept him trapped in a cycle of failure and frustration. Daniel believed the world was unfair, and with every passing day, that belief became his reality. He lost confidence to apply for better jobs, avoided challenges, and even distanced himself from those who were making progress. His thoughts shaped his actions, and his actions shaped his life. Slowly, his days became a reflection of the negativity he carried in his heart. But life has a way of sending lessons when we need them most. One afternoon, Daniel met an old teacher in town who had seen many young men like him bright but burdened by their own thoughts. The teacher observed his constant complaints and decided to give him a challenge. He told Daniel that for 30 days, he should replace every negative thought with a positive one. If he failed, he must start over, but if he succeeded, his life would change. At first, Daniel laughed at the idea. How could simply changing thoughts alter the reality of life? But something inside him wanted to try, because he was tired of living with despair. The next morning, his journey began. In the first few days, he struggled. Whenever he made a mistake, his old voice returned, whispering that he was useless. But he remembered the challenge and corrected himself. This mistake is my lesson. I will do better next time. When things didn't go his way, instead of saying life was unfair, he reminded himself, this is a chance to grow stronger. Slowly, the practice of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones began to change him. Daniel noticed small but powerful shifts. He walked with more confidence, spoke with more energy, and looked at challenges differently. His colleagues began to admire his new attitude. His friends started enjoying his company again. Even strangers responded more warmly to his presence. It was as though life itself had begun to mirror his thoughts. But real transformation is always tested by adversity. After a few months of progress, Daniel faced one of the greatest setbacks of his life. The company he worked for suddenly closed down and he lost his job. The old Daniel would have collapsed into despair, telling himself he was doomed to fail forever. But this time he chose a different path. He reminded himself that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. Instead of wasting days in self-pity, he used the free time to focus on something he had always loved: designing furniture. He began with small projects in his garage, using leftover materials and simple tools. What started as a hobby soon caught the attention of neighbors and friends, who admired his creativity and craftsmanship. Word spread, and within months, Daniel had his first orders. His small workshop grew into a modest business, and with it grew his confidence. For the first time in his life, Daniel felt free. He realized that it wasn't talent or luck alone that had brought him success, but the shift in his thinking. His positive thoughts had opened his mind to possibilities that once seemed invisible. Where others saw problems, he now saw opportunities. Where others complained, he found reasons to be grateful. And as his mindset expanded, so did his life. Years later, Daniel looked back and saw the difference between his past and present. The young man who once believed the world was against him had discovered that the world reflects the thoughts we carry within. By changing his inner dialogue, he had changed his destiny. He learned that our mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds we plant, whether negative or positive, will grow and shape our future. Daniel's story carries a timeless lesson. Life is not always under our control, but our thoughts always are. Negative thinking drains our energy, blinds us to opportunities, and chains us to fear. Positive thinking, on the other hand, fuels our courage, sharpens our vision, and guides us through challenges with hope. It does not mean ignoring problems, but facing them with the belief that solutions exist. The power of positive thinking is not a magic trick that removes difficulties from life. Instead, it is a way of building strength, resilience, and clarity. It gives us the ability to rise after every fall, to learn from every mistake, and to see light even in the darkest moments. Daniel discovered that his world did not change overnight, but his attitude transformed every step he took. And through that transformation, success and fulfillment followed naturally. In the end, his life stood as living proof of a simple but profound truth. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you believe you are defeated, you will live in defeat. If you believe you are capable, opportunities will reveal themselves. And if you train your mind to focus on the good, life itself will become richer and more meaningful. So remember, the story of Daniel is not just his story, it can be the story of anyone who dares to change the way they think. Every day we have a choice: to see the world through the lens of doubt or through the vision of hope. The choice we make will write the story of our lives. The power of positive thinking is within you. Use it, and you will discover that the life you once dreamed of has been waiting for you all along.